Have you ever wondered, how did Thanos know Tony Stark's name? Why did the Mad Titan say they were both cursed with knowledge? Could there be a deeper connection between Tony and Thanos? One that spans space, time, or even the multiverse? Is it possible that Tony Stark played a bigger role in the grand cosmic design than we ever imagined? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most underrated mysteries in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. How did Thanos know who Tony Stark was? And what does that mean for the future of the MCU? Stick around as we connect the dots through Infinity War, Endgame, the multiverse saga, and beyond. This theory might change the way you see Iron Man forever. Let's start with the moment that sparked all of this speculation. In Avengers Infinity War, during the final battle on Titan, Thanos directly addresses Tony Stark by name saying, "Stark, you're not the only one cursed with knowledge." Now pause right there. This is huge. Tony is visibly shocked, and so were we, because up until this point, Thanos has never been shown to meet Tony. There's no scene where his underlings even mention Tony by name. Stark has never traveled deep into space since the Battle of New York. So how does Thanos know him? This line implies more than just casual recognition. Thanos not only knows Stark's name, but seems to understand him. Which leads us to our theory. Let's go back to the Avengers 2012. Remember the Chitauri invasion? The aliens were sent by Thanos through Loki to conquer Earth and retrieve the Tesseract. Now guess who stopped that invasion? That's right, Tony Stark. He was the one who flew a nuclear missile through the wormhole and took down the Chitauri mothership. That single act of heroism cost Thanos an army and a plan years in the making. You think Thanos didn't notice? It's very likely that after the invasion failed, Thanos personally reviewed what happened. As someone who sees all outcomes and prepares for every possibility, Thanos would want to know who destroyed his fleet and how. Thus, Stark's name, face, and actions would have become known to Thanos from that moment on. But that only explains how he knows of Tony. What about this cursed with knowledge part? Here's where things get deep. Thanos calls Tony cursed with knowledge, and honestly, it fits. Think about it. After the Battle of New York, Tony develops severe PTSD. He can't stop imagining the next threat. He becomes obsessed with protecting Earth at all costs. He builds Ultron not for war, but for peace. He constantly upgrades his suits, isolates himself, and distances from others in the name of preparing for the inevitable. He knows something big is coming, and it haunts him. Now compare that to Thanos. After watching his own planet Titan fall due to overpopulation, he becomes cursed with knowledge of universal balance. He too isolates himself. He plans for decades. He builds armies. He sacrifices everything to prepare for the coming catastrophe. Both men are burdened by visions of doom. Both see themselves as the only ones willing to do what's necessary. So when Thanos says, "You're not the only one cursed with knowledge," he's not being sarcastic. He's genuinely empathizing. He sees himself in Tony Stark. This one gets metaphysical. We know the Soul Stone is the most mysterious of the Infinity Stones. It requires a sacrifice to obtain. It has a consciousness, according to directors Joe and Anthony Russo. What if the Soul Stone and the other stones can see through time and destiny? After all, Doctor Strange looked through 14,605 possible futures and found only one where the Avengers win. In that one future, Tony dies to stop Thanos. What if the stones already knew who Tony was and what he was destined to do? And what if Thanos, upon wielding the stones, began to sense that connection too? This theory suggests that Tony was always destined to be the balance to Thanos, his opposite, his equal, his eventual undoing. And maybe, just maybe, the stones whispered that to Thanos when he sought them. Ready for a wild one? Let's bring in the Eternals and Celestials. We know from Eternals that Thanos is technically a deviant Eternal hybrid. He's not just a random alien overlord. He's tied to the cosmic design. And guess who else the Celestials may have had their eye on? Tony Stark. Tony literally creates technology that mimics the power of gods. He reverse engineers the Tesseract's energy. He creates his own miniature arc reactor, basically infinite clean power. He builds a nanosuit and even uses Infinity Stones without being instantly vaporized. That's no ordinary human. What if the Celestials saw Tony as a potential threat or anomaly, someone evolving faster than natural human limits? And if the Celestials noticed? It's possible Thanos knew too. This theory proposes that Stark wasn't just important because he was smart, he was cosmically important. Now let's take this up a level. What if Thanos and Tony have met before? In another universe? In What If, we saw various timelines where Tony interacts with characters like Killmonger, Gamora, and even Ultron. And with the multiverse now wide open, who's to say that Thanos hasn't seen other versions of Stark? Maybe in another universe, Tony tried to stop him. Maybe he even succeeded. Maybe Thanos lost to Stark before. And now, in this timeline, Thanos remembers echoes or visions of that confrontation. It's not so far-fetched when you consider the TVA monitors multiversal events. Kang is aware of every version of every person. Well, the Infinity Stones are different in every universe, but the threat of balance remains consistent. So Thanos could be reacting not just to this Tony, but to the idea of Tony Stark across the cosmos. Let's break down some final parallels between the two. Sacrifice. Oh, Thanos sacrifices Gamora for the Soul Stone. Oh, Tony sacrifices himself to save the universe. Responsibility. Oh, Thanos believes it's his burden to fix the universe. Oh, Tony believes it's his job to protect it. Obsession with protection. Oh, Thanos protects the future by destroying half of life. Oh, Tony protects the future by creating suits, AIs, and eventually risking everything. In many ways, Tony Stark is the inverse of Thanos. Where Thanos chooses destruction to bring peace, Tony chooses innovation to bring hope. But both are obsessed with fixing what they see as broken. And that obsession is why Thanos recognizes him. So how did Thanos know Tony Stark? Maybe it was through surveillance after the Battle of New York. Maybe it was cosmic intuition from the Infinity Stones. Maybe it was echoes from across the multiverse. Or maybe, just maybe, it was something deeper, a recognition of another soul cursed with knowledge, two minds from opposite ends of the universe, locked in the same eternal burden to save life by any means necessary. In the end, Tony Stark became more than a man in a suit. He became a symbol of sacrifice, intelligence, and responsibility. And Thanos, he saw it coming. So what do you think? Was it just good writing? Or is there a deeper MCU thread we haven't fully unraveled yet? Could Thanos and Tony's connection hint at future multiversal versions of Iron Man? Did Tony leave behind more than a legacy? Did he leave behind a warning? Drop your theories in the comments below. Let's unravel this mystery together. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell so you never miss a video diving into the secrets of the MCU. Until next time, stay curious, stay heroic, and remember, we love you 3000.